we live in. Come along with us through a strange yet familiar world. We'll see peoples of many lands, the places they live, the things they do, all a part of the world we live in.
You know, at one time back in the early days of New England, the lowly oxen served as an important link in road transport. Then along in 1826 came the Concord stagecoach, considered the deluxe mode of turnpike travel. With the turn of the century, there appeared that wonder of wonders, the horseless carriage, and some of the more venturesome souls guessed the contraption was here to stay. A tour through historic New England is something long remembered, and the start of the Daniel Webster Highway bids you welcome to New Hampshire. The Amoskeag plant in Manchester, one-time largest cotton mills in the world, now houses various leading industries. The Currier Gallery of Art, bequeathed by ex-Governor Moody Currier, is noted for its symbolic mosaic panels. Hooks at Cutoff, built for your safe motoring pleasure, is the most direct route to Concord, capital city of New Hampshire, first of the 13 original states to declare its independence. Home of the famous Concord coach, used by Wells Fargo in the days of '49. The birthplace of Franklin Pierce in Hillsborough, 14th President of the United States. Daniel Webster, statesman, was born in Franklin in 1782 and visited here annually with his children to teach them the hardships of former generations. Symphony of autumn color. The smile of the Great Spirit lingers over Lake Winnipesaukee, famed recreational center. A visit to a county fair is a must on every New England tour, and this fair at Sandwich is typical of that Saturday get-together of folks from all over the countryside. The all-girl band is one of the colorful attractions of the fair. These youngsters certainly parade their stuff. A time-honored custom is observed in this ox team contest, which is watched with keen interest by the crowd. And Junior, some ox. A couple of blue ribbon winners take a bow. That's right, mother and daughter. A superb vista, Chautauqua Lake and mountain. Nearby, the motorist is rewarded with this pageantry of color. Quaint, picturesque. These bridges of yesteryear are fast disappearing from the New England scene to be replaced by modern bridge structures, scientifically designed, planned and constructed to meet the increasingly heavy traffic problem and give maximum protection to the motorist. Structures that will eliminate hazardous crossings and separate opposing and intersecting traffic streams. The recently constructed Maine, New Hampshire Interstate Bridge between Portsmouth, New Hampshire and Kittery, Maine is an admirable example of modern bridge engineering. Serving a constant flow of motor traffic, furnishing a necessary new rail traffic crossing, this bridge provides, importantly, the shortest and least congested connection on New England's strategic Highway US 1 between Maine and New Hampshire. Its towers are indeed pinnacles of progress in highway bridge construction. Rye Beach on the coast is just south of Odeorn's Point, scene of New Hampshire's first white settlement in 1623. Travel from this point inland was by water to Pomeroy Cove, and at Dover Point, their water trail ended and New Hampshire's roadways began. Close by is the General Sullivan Bridge with its well-terraced landscape. We are soon rolling along New Hampshire's longest highway tangent, the Londonderry Turnpike. This is the town of Keene, which claims the widest paved street in the country. shaded highway leads to this birch-lined drive in beautiful fall array. And north to the Connecticut Lakes, located near the historic Indian Stream territory, headwaters of the Connecticut River, boundary between the states of New Hampshire and Vermont. Vermont, the Green Mountain State, first after the original 13 states to join the Union. Montpelier, state capital. The famous Doric portico of this gold dome building was modeled after the Temple of Theseus in Athens, Greece. Ethan Allen, soldier, patriot, leader of the Green Mountain Boys. Birthplace of Admiral George Dewey, hero of the Spanish War at Manila Bay. Follow Route US 2 west through this land of scenic splendor, and you're at picturesque and historic 120-mile-long Lake Champlain, discovered by Samuel Champlain, explorer, in 1609. Calvin Coolidge was born here in the tiny village of Plymouth on July 4th, 1872. 51 years later, his father, a justice of the peace, administered the oath of office by lamplight in the family home to son Calvin as our 30th president. The maple tree symbolizes Vermont's lead in the production of maple products. Golden maple syrup, tasty maple sugar, and delicious maple cream candy to satisfy the sweet tooth of the nation. Vermont is #1 dairying state of New England, ranks first in milk output. Pastoral scene, Mount Mansfield in the distance. The Molly Stark Trail was traversed by General Stark in 1777 en route to the Battle of Bennington. Vermont derived its name from the French, vert meaning green, and montagne, mountain, hence Vermont, the Green Mountain State. Located at the base of Mount Anthony, Bennington is situated in the most historic territory in the state. The highest battle monument in the world commemorates the Battle of Bennington in 1777. To the memory of those brave American patriots who died that liberty might live in these United States of America. Barry, the granite center of the world, and in the adjacent hills, these quarries produce the justly famous stone. The Robert Burns statue in Barry is an excellent example of granite carving. And over at Cornish, New Hampshire, St. Gaudens sculpted many of his famous masterpieces. Graceful Diana once topped Old Madison Square Garden, New York. The original Admiral Farragut is also in New York. The famous Henry Adams Monument is in Washington, D.C. The Puritan in Springfield, Massachusetts. The original of this Abraham Lincoln sculpture by St. Gaudens is in Chicago, Illinois, and a replica now faces Westminster Abbey in London, England. Dartmouth College, Hanover, New Hampshire. Chartered in 1769, Dartmouth has a student body of 2,400 men, a faculty of 275 members. Dartmouth ranks with the country's leading colleges. Cross-state, our trail leads north to the White Mountain region with its spectacular passes. Scenic Crawford Notch, first opened to tourist travel in 1810 by the construction of the 10th New Hampshire Turnpike. Here is Sugar Hill as seen from Franconia Village. State fire towers lend added protection in this heavily timbered country. Franconia Notch is perhaps the best-known notch in the East, with its far-famed Old Man of the Mountain, a scenic wonder sculptured by nature from the granite ledges of Cannon Mountain. The stately balsam signals the approach to Dixville Notch, a wild and rocky defile lying within the one-time hunting grounds of the Abenaki Indians. Through Pinkham Notch at the Glen, the motor road leads up Mount Washington. Halfway house on the 8-mile climb. Passing the 7-mile mark. Conquering altitude. It's the U.S. Weather Bureau on the summit of Mount Washington, where from the highest peak in the presidential range, this breathtaking panorama reveals the far distant Atlantic Ocean, where land and water meet. Every road that leads you out makes you long to turn about. In New England,